Super. BS. Hey, and we are back to Super BS. We got something special today, but I don't want to ruin it yet. I am Brian Brink Burson Wagner, and this is episode 23, August 24th, 2017. Who's sitting across from me?
It's Josh Jankerson. Josh Peterson? Jankerson?
Jankerson.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
And we got somebody that's super special with us from the beginning, back for the triumvirate return. Badooch. Who is it?
Hey, it's me, Dave.
No!
That was actually a
wanna
good impersonation.
Talk to you guys about the stocks.
No!
There's a bunch of numbers, and they mean stuff that only I know.
Can we talk about Quake 3 for a few minutes?
Those are things Dave loves. Everyone knows he stalks and Quake. Those are the two.
That's all he knows.
So do you want to hit us up with where you've been? What have you been doing? You've been playing games nonstop all
For one,
day.
I'm not Dave. I am Donna.
No! This
Yes.
is a surprise.
What?
I have been in the hospital for 2 months.
Oh my goodness, man. Just partying like a rock star? Or?
Partying. Yeah, it was a hospital party. I went in, and you wouldn't believe the stuff that happens at a
It
hospital
was
party.
such a great party. He didn't want to leave.
Well,
You know, the doctors and the nurses, they work year round, so they just take 1 2-month party vacation a year.
2-month party vacation.
And Eric got the VIP
Yeah,
this
the
year.
VIP.
Lady Madonna VIP. You don't have to say more if you don't want, but we can also talk about what we've been playing.
Yeah.
What have you been playing, Donna? I actually want to hear because you've probably played the most since you've been gone for about 2
I've been
months.
playing a game that's similar to Dr. Mario, and it's where you sit in a hospital bed and then doctors come in the room and say, hey, this is wrong. We're going to give you these pills, and then they combine colors to get rid of things, or shots, whatever.
It's the Dr. Luigi
Yeah, Dr. Luigi.
Hospital Edition.
No, but for reals, I've been playing kind of bits of things.
Oh, wait, so you weren't playing Dr. Mario.
No, I was just in the hospital getting treated for 2 months. So I started my yearly playthrough of Final Fantasy IV, which I have down to about, memorized because I do it every year.
If you had to speed run it, how fast could you get through that game?
I don't know. Probably pretty. It's so hard for me not to go to do all the secret stuff. I mean, there's not even that much compared to like a later Final Fantasy, but there's enough secret stuff that it would be hard for me to like speed run. But I bet I could get through it in. I'm not a speed runner, so probably like 12 hours. Because my last like completionist run was like 17 hours.
That's quick.
Yeah. It's not that long. Like Final Fantasy IV, Chrono Trigger, those are like 25-hour games for anyone. And then Final Fantasy VI can be a longer affair, but that's kind of where it starts they get longer.
I was surprised because I was playing the mobile Final Fantasy 3,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd played it for maybe like 4 hours, and I was already about halfway through the game.
Yeah, that one is it is a little bit longer probably than the original Final Fantasy 3 because you played the DS remake,
Right.
which was ported to phones, and it's got all the expanded story and stuff. But it does have the job class system from that. That's the first game, Final Fantasy 3, that the job class popped up in, which is cool. But yeah, so I've been playing that. I've been playing a little bit of Bastion, just replaying that because I have it. And
Wait, real quick, back to 4 though. Are you going to play the After Years? You didn't mention that.
because I don't mention that.
The best,
Wait,
you mean? Better than Final Fantasy 4?
I haven't played Final Fantasy 4, so what's bad about the After Years?
The After Years is not Final Fantasy IV. The After Years is like a sequel thing they made, an episodic Wii game that they made like
Yeah, it's better than Final Fantasy
like
4.
I want to say like
Way
7
better.
or 8 years ago. I could be wrong about that. It's
It's connected to 4 or it's not?
yeah, you play as, well, spoiler alert, but you play as the son of 2 of the main characters, which is actually not entirely true because the game is episodic and the episodes focus on different characters.
Tella and Tella's clone Stella.
Yeah. No. So in one episode you play as that kid, another episode you play as like Rydia from the original 4, and it's got throwback potential, but the story is a little modern, too modern Square for its own good, meaning that it's a little ridiculous.
So how do they make the boys and all the belts and all the shorts?
So fortunately, Tetsuya Nomura did not have anything to do with it. So there's not a lot of shorts and belts. The character designs are actually cool. Seeing like the updated designs of older like characters from the first game, and then the main kid doesn't look that bad. He's kind of cool looking, but it's not great. It just kind of ends with like a weird, ends with a weird cliffhanger, and it's like they're not gonna do anything more with it. It's almost as bad as the audio drama of Final Fantasy X.
Oh, you mean the best thing that we talked about that we loved previous months ago?
Yeah.
And you mentioned Bastion too?
No, just Bastion 1.
I only like the sequel though.
The sequel. I never played Transistor because, they abandoned Xbox for whatever reason.
Well, they gotta give power to the gamers, right? Whatever.
Yeah, it's funny. I might never play a Supergiant game again because I don't own any modern Sony consoles right now, and Final Fantasy 14 is the only reason I'd want to, and maybe the super awesome version of Dragon Quest 11. But
yeah, well, hopefully that'll be one of the Switch games.
But I'm not like as amazing as Bastion is, and as amazing as Transistor looked, and as interesting as Pyre looks. Like, I won't buy a Sony system for freaking Supergiant games. I'll just buy that dude's soundtracks because they're usually amazing.
What would get you to buy a PlayStation 4?
Uncharted, Lost Legacy.
There we go.
Yeah. Games I really hate. There isn't really anything. Just a good deal.
Yeah.
I'd buy one, in another year or two when it's like it's same circumstances I bought my PS3 back alley.
Literally in a back alley.
I mean, actually, I will never do that again because that ended up being kind of a rip. But not really. But just
but there was some unexpected side effects.
The person that was selling it to me did not know what model he was selling me,
and with PlayStation 3 that was a big deal because they had a billion models of that system.
Yeah, one model has backwards compatibility, one model has zero memory.
That was one thing that I'm glad they fixed with PS4 is they didn't make, I don't even remember how many SKUs, but there was a 20, a 60 gigabyte, an 80 gigabyte, an 80 gigabyte, no backwards compatibility, 120. Like, PS3 is the craziest console
hardware
SKU.
in PS3 was super cheap too. Like, I had mine, the inside of mine melted, and that's why it stopped working.
Oh, that's just the cell architecture.
You mean it's not cheap, it's expensive and good.
It's cellular.
I want cellular. Yeah.
It just melts and then resells.
All
But I was going to say, what would get me to buy a PS4 is a really cheap deal. Because I would really be, the problem is that the exclusives, 90% of them I'm not interested in playing. I'd play Horizon. I'd play Final Fantasy 14 because I already have a 50 or so character until they stopped supporting it on PS3.
You can't play it on PS3?
No, they ended service for it. I believe there's a free upgrade. I don't know if it's a trial period for that free upgrade. Like, it's a free upgrade if you start between now and September, but
I kept hearing they're going to release it on Xbox One, so I was like,
there's still chances of that, yeah. Because they talked about something happened where I remember reading an IGN thing where it was like, oh, it might be on Switch and Xbox, it's still up in the air. So
if it's on Switch, that'd be rad.
That would be cool. The only problem is the portability won't work. So it'd be a cool thing. I still feel like a game like Final Fantasy 14, they should try to make a solo part of it as well, since you can solo almost the whole game.
For portability, though, as long as you had an internet signal, like a Wi-Fi signal, wouldn't you be able to...
I mean, like the fidelity of it. I mean, it's a pretty game.
Yeah.
It'd be rough on the Switch.
It'd be rough on... The Switch would have a lot of reasons, but yeah, if they made like a single-player portion of it, or even the ability to play some of it offline... I know they would never do this because they make all their money through the online portion of it.
But you don't always have to play it with people, though, right?
You don't, but you have to pay for the subscription and be in a way. But before we get back to more of what Donna's been playing, we mentioned some Sony first-party games. Old Jankerson, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. I know
this
is a sore subject with everybody, but it was $40, and I figured why not.
So the full MSRP? You mean like you didn't get a deal on it?
No,
no. That game seems like the Temple of Doom of Uncharted games.
It pretty much is, but I will give them this, that they have created a game that makes the series feel kind of fresh, because you're not playing as Nathan Drake. You're playing as two characters who were introduced in the Drake series, but it feels like its own tale, like it could exist in its own universe.
Just for me, the thing that sounded interesting was they mentioned there's an open world section of it. But the thing that totally shot that down is, from everyone I've heard about, is that open world section is just a chapter of the game, and you have to do every single thing that's in there before you leave that chapter.
See, I haven't. I'm on chapter 3 right now. But what I do like that it's like the other Uncharted games are very, it's linear, yes, but the areas you can explore are very small. But in this one, you're driving around in a jungle, and you're actually, the areas are pretty big, so they're easy to get lost in.
But that's that section. That's
is that what it is? Okay, well then I guess it's not as open world as I thought.
I'm mostly interested in the map technology.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard about this, but the map is like your actual. The map that she holds is the same as your menu map, and so when she crosses things out, she actually does.
In the real menu. That type of technology, that's something I could get behind.
It was worthy of a Kotaku article.
Yeah. Everything Sony related is worthy of a Kotaku article.
It seems like Kotaku needs a lot of things to write about.
But it's, Uncharted Lost Legacy, the biggest draw for me is the fact that 7 hours versus Uncharted 4 with its, I want to say it was 20 plus hours, some people said, and
right.
I couldn't finish that game.
Uncharted 4 was it was a long game. Like there's a lot of places where it should have just ended, and it didn't.
Yeah, it should have ended before the first one came out, is what I thought.
Nice.
Missed this.
Donna giving those ribs, man. You gotta give those tickles.
Hey, but I'm still on the high from Hellblade, though. I still love that game.
It looks cool. I wish it would come to more things, but on top of that, I just wish I cared more to play it.
Yeah.
Did you get to play anything else?
No, that's all I've had time for.
I actually want to ask Donna, because we talked about this previously off air.
What would get me to play Uncharted if it was Nicolas Cage instead of Nathan Drake?
That would be awesome.
Games basically feel like the national treasure of video games.
Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, that would see. Okay. I would with Mark Wahlberg. It would just be a darker game instantly.
Well, he's actually,
unless it was like a Mark Wahlberg / Will Ferrell game.
Will Ferrell's the cameo guy or the team?
No, they're the teammates
from other guys.
Yeah. You can't have a Will Ferrell in without John C. Reilly, though.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a good Will Ferrell movie without John C. Reilly.
I don't think I've seen a good movie without John C. Reilly.
That is true. If it's a good movie, John C. Reilly is somehow in it. So. Yeah. Even cameo. But you've been playing some other things too. You mentioned Fallout 4.
Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Fallout 4. Same gripes as always. It's a cool game, except there's base building, which is freaking annoying, and settlement micromanagement, which is annoying.
Isn't that our favorite thing on this show?
It's our favorite thing. I actually, since the last time we complained about it, I read an article that hinted that they were trying to put that kind of junk in Skyrim.
Nice.
And they couldn't fit it in. And I was like, oh my gosh, if they do that in the next Elder Scrolls game, that could turn it into a pass for me, which would be insane.
Don't they already have those achievements on Xbox where you have to build a house? You have to go out and chop up the wood and mine the ore.
I don't know if that's how you do it, though. Isn't it just like a gold? I didn't play it. The Stone Hearth or whatever it is?
Yeah. Oh, no,
DLC.
that has nothing to do with, like, it's not quite the same.
Okay.
And also it's a DLC, so it's very take it or leave it. But like the settlement building in Fallout 4 is like a main mechanic.
So you have to.
And it's not just building a custom sweet house, which is what it is in Hearth.
Yeah, Stone Hearth or something like that. It's got
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, the card game. You build houses.
No, it's like you just kind of build a sweet house. I forget if your house gets attacked or something. That doesn't sound familiar to me.
No, I don't think it has the constant defense mechanics.
But yeah, like having to manually place beds for settlers. They're all useless. They don't do anything. That's the thing.
They complain a lot. So
yeah.
I mean,
if it was like
is that part of it? They come up to you and they say things.
Well, some of them.
They say like, "Oh, we need beds," but it's like you can't empower your settlers. Like you can't give your settlers materials and they'll put together things for you while you're gone. That you have to do it all, and then they get attacked.
And so it's like babies too.
You're in the middle of a quest. And you're doing something and you get a little pop-up notice like, hey, I know that you can't leave this area without failing a quest, but your settlement's under attack.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is so stupid.
Kind of like when you play like Pokemon, it says you've been poisoned and your screen flashes, but there's no Pokemon centers nearby.
Yeah, man, it's the Radiant quests they're called that Bethesda's been adding into games where they're never-ending side quests.
Yeah, they're constantly regenerating.
They're just dumb. Like, that's why most games don't have them, is because it's like, well, this isn't fun. Like, I don't need to go kill this bandit camp because there's nothing special there at all.
Right.
That's just like a weird side thing.
See,
they
the
made.
thing is though, in Skyrim, I don't mind them so much because sneaking through a bandit camp and sneak headshotting people with a bow is always so fun.
Yeah, I just still think, though, they're not necessary. They're way worse in Fallout 4, but I just think, like, you go back to the old games that have just a few side quests, but all of them are amazing. Or go to Oblivion that didn't have any regenerating or repeating side quests.
Yeah.
Every single one of those side quests
like
are fun.
Fallout 3 and New Vegas like had like a limited number of side quests, and that was great.
Yeah, Fallout 3, I want to say, was like 9. Like, there was an achievement for
I thought there
every
was 20.
side.
I thought there was 20.
That was the last Fallout game I played was 3.
I
Oh,
like
man.
3 a lot.
3's great.
loves-
I love 3. It's New Vegas is better. So
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Speaking of Bethesda, though, didn't they? People were playing the VR Skyrim at,
Oh, they
at
heard it
Gamescom.
sucks, yeah.
They're saying it sucked, but they're still releasing it. They announced their release date for
Yeah,
it.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
You know what's funny is I see my one of the things that I've been holding in. I can't wait to complain about on this show is Facebook. You know, they give you like articles all the time and stuff,
Right.
From gaming news quotation marks websites that are like ad infested crap holes, and it's like top.
We
six,
run one of those. No, I'm just joking.
top 6 games from E3, and it's like Skyrim VR. It's like no one thought that.
Yeah. Who writes that?
It was disappointing that most of E3 this year, when it came to Bethesda, was like Skyrim VR, and the only Skyrim property I'm kind of interested in is the Switch version, and it's only
Yeah.
because I want to play it on the go. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really want to replay the game. I just want to have it on the go.
I wonder, because I feel like a large portion of Sony's fan base like hates games like Skyrim because they're not Japanese RPGs and they can't play like like amnesiac like preteen boys.
It's a lot. I think
So-
like Bethesda's main audience is like Xbox and PC players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what I was gonna say is I wonder if like the 4chan crowd will still like crawl to Sony's underpants area, like worshiping them for Skyrim VR, just because it's Sony.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to see when that comes out. I feel bad for all PSVR owners, but I want to get to that in the news. But there's not a lot of games coming out for
Yeah.
it. And we talked about this last week, but I do want to bring it up again this week coming in the news. We'll talk a little bit more about that.
Something I wanted to bring up,
Yeah.
speaking on my little tangent on like really crappy game websites, I want to call out specifically thegamer.com. If you're listening, you suck.
What is it?
It's like
the list?
it's like a list website, and I read a list of 12 or 15 or 5 reasons that every Final Fantasy game is in the same universe, even though it's been clear from the very beginning that that's absolutely not true.
Yeah, especially with games like
and
Daedalus.
one of their main reasons was because Gilgamesh is in a couple games.
Yeah, I was reading that.
He's not in every game, first of all.
Yeah.
And again, those are just like they didn't even mention like chocobos and things like that, I don't think. And I read that and I was like, man, whoever wrote this is an idiot. And
I think it's just one of those things where they have to have so many articles. But I want to take a break pretty soon. But before we do that, did you have another game you wanted to talk about?
you know, let me just correct myself. The list wasn't 10 reasons or whatever that Final Fantasy games are in a shared universe. It's like 10 or 15 lies about Final Fantasy that you believe or something like that. And they're like that it's in a shared universe. And it's like, even though the Square has constantly stated that they're not, they definitely are because of my expert
They keep finding
skills.
it's like coincidence. They want to take coincidences and make them into fact, and it's just not.
Yeah.
There's a million reasons why Final Fantasy games can't be in the same universe, but
Yeah, it's articles like that are just clickbait because
Yeah.
they know that people are probably searching Final Fantasy, especially after 15 news. But we'll get back to that
thegamer.com,
soon.
you are clickbait trash.
We love you. Real quick,
I do not.
before we go to a break, I want to talk about the one game I played and completed
What did you play?
this week.
Oh, I didn't even talk about Sonic Mania.
Oh, really? Oh, do you want
Did
to
you
mention
play
that
it?
real quick?
Yeah, I did
Oh,
play it.
nice. Okay.
Yo, the game that Josh said he was going to play
I know. Well,
multiple times
I
on this
want to
podcast.
play it, but I just haven't gotten around
yeah,
to it yet.
it's not on nothing, right? It's not on Xbox, PlayStation,
Yeah, it's
Switch,
nothing.
PC.
I'm waiting for it to hit Game Gear.
Anyways, Donna, what do you think about it?
It's pretty cool. It's basically having memorized the level order from the old Sonic games. Like if it was called Sonic 2, like I would believe that it's the same game as like an old game. It's pretty It's pretty similar.
It looks rad too. Like
But it's fun. Sonic games are so weird because they're like exploring, like levels aren't linear. I mean, they are ultimately linear, as in left to right. But it's like to get there, sometimes it's like you go down, up, backwards through all these different ways. There's like multiple pathways to get there for the most part. So, but the game is supposed to move fast because Sonic is like a fast-moving character. So it's like a weird juxtaposition of like, it feels like you should explore this level, but you don't because you're a fast character. So it's interesting. I like it.
It's a lot of puzzle solving too. Like you wouldn't think that, but I was playing the second one on mobile, and I hate mobile games, but
you love them.
Yes, I love to hate them.
Dog.
But yeah, it's a lot of times I was like stopping, and I had to like look around to see what the next place was that I could go. But I guess my question to you though is there an overarching story in Sonic Mania, or is it you just jump into it and play?
Yeah, it's called Sonic the Lost Legacy, and he's exploring.
It's
India.
Funny.
It's great because it's not about Sonic, but it's about two characters introduced in Sonic. No, I'm just kidding.
I was believing you.
I was repeating verbatim your description of Uncharted.
Lost Legacy. I thought you got that instantly when he made the first joke.
No.
Okay, before we go on break, though, I want to talk about what I played just because I love it. I don't want to say a whole lot about it just because...
Just want to remind the audience that this is where you pretend to care, but,
Yeah, this is the part where you actually care. I know you guys have just been pretending.
They're all looking at pictures of Brian and nodding.
They've been pretending for years to care about everyone else's speech, but here we go. No, I finished Undertale this week. I finally played it. It's a 2-year-old PC game. I love it. I think it's great. It's definitely the most emotional game that I can remember playing at least in 10 years. Like, I can't remember feeling this way since maybe Final Fantasy X-2, the song that Yuna sings, like at that moment, or some scenes in that game.
It's 1,000 words. It's not technically Yuna, but...
yeah, it's 1,000 words. Technically, the song she sings, nobody knows the title.
But I haven't beaten that game multiple times.
Yeah, Donna doesn't know any of the titles of the game. What is Final Fantasy? But no, it's great. It's got a really cool soundtrack, and there's just so many cool things. And for the listeners who did play it, and for the listener, I should say, who did play it, you're out there, we know you. There is, I played it both True Pacifist and Genocide. I didn't do True Genocide yet, but it's great. Check it out. Check out the soundtrack. I love it. I will probably play it more. But we want to get back to you real quick before we get into the news, so we're going to take a quick break. Poo. Bye.
Hey everyone, venture into the pop culture cosmos today, where you'll hear our conversations on different topics within the world of movies, TV, video games, comic books, technology, board gaming, and more. You'll also get a taste of some of our other shows within the cosmos as well. So come on and join us each week as we delve into the pop culture cosmos.
Welcome to the pop culture cosmos.
And we're back. Nice to know ya. We actually got some big news today about the game that started this all. Donna, regale me on what happened at Gamescom this week regarding our favorite series.
Well, Ubisoft burped into Final Fantasy 15's mouth and announced a Assassin's Creed DLC. And I think they announced a Final Fantasy DLC for Assassin's Creed. Right?
Really? I didn't read that portion.
Did they? I know it because I saw it in the picture. The Assassin's Creed.
I thought they said something.
Noctis' sword or something.
Yeah, no, I thought they said something like there's going to be a reverse of that.
That'd be cool.
That's right.
But I could be totally the gamer.com-ing that. So.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. That'd be fun. I'd be down for that.
You know what's funny? I learned something today, too, about this. This isn't new. They did this same thing for Final Fantasy 13, too. You could dress Noel up as the guy from Assassin's Creed Revelations.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Apparently there was Mass Effect armor in 13 too as well.
Yeah, I don't know how you got that. I wonder if you had to buy it or something.
But they actually have like specially designed challenges in Final Fantasy, right? And a story, like a
but it's like
story.
only if you did the Moogle Carnival stuff. So
which all of us did.
Did you watch the trailer? Because there's like a special like captain of the Empire that's you're assassinating all of his peeps.
What?
Yeah.
No, I did. I actually did not watch the trailer.
Did you see it?
No,
No.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like we.
So
Yeah.
I think there's like a specific within the Assassin's Carnival. I think there's a specific story that goes along
Yeah.
with it.
No, I just saw the headline and then fell sick. So
Threw up all
so I
everywhere.
couldn't watch the trailer.
So that's not the only 15 news.
Oh yeah, the mobile edition.
Yeah,
The
with
pocket edition.
Chibi.
Yeah, the chibi edition.
Yeah. But you were mentioning that there's a pocket edition of Final Fantasy 15.
Now there's not a lot of details on it because they showed a trailer for it and it's literally like a chibi version of the intro.
Yeah.
So I can't tell like how truncated of a game this is going to be. It would be hilarious if it was literally the same game but just in chibi.
I hope that's what it is.
That's what I was wondering, is because it's episodic, but are you still free to travel about the
Oh, it will not be free.
world?
It'll be the first episode free and then the whole game costs you $20. But
The thing that I'm concerned about is another news article where the director said that they're going to try to port Final Fantasy 15 to a system that rhymes with Twitch. So I'm assuming it's Nintendo Switch.
Did they talk about that?
That's what he said. That was
the
his
Arno
quote.
system, the bitch.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But if it is to Switch, I'm really worried they're going to port the mobile version. Like they've been getting. Switch has quite a few mobile games on it right now.
I feel like they wouldn't do that because that wouldn't build a lot of goodwill with the fans.
Square Enix doesn't really care that much about building goodwill with fans right
But
now.
the issue is that the Nintendo Switch can't play Final Fantasy 15. I mean, that's just
They could down-res it. I think it could.
Because I feel like they could do it like if Skyrim could be down-res to
Well,
Nintendo
Skyrim's a lot older.
well, we
Yeah.
haven't seen Skyrim,
This is true.
so we don't know what that's going to end up like.
Right.
I mean, there's got to be a reason that they're being like, here's a trailer that's clearly better than it's actually going to look like.
and we're not going to talk about it for another 6 months.
Yeah, I don't. Does
Exactly.
anybody even know the release date on that?
I
yet?
looked on Amazon. It's just a generic December 29th release
'Cause
date.
They did the release date in Tamriel years, which is impossible to interpret into Earth years. So
Nice.
who knows?
You got to find all the gods,
Yeah.
Molag Ball or
Yeah,
whatever.
go through all the towers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would love that game on Switch. At this point, I don't know if I'd like play through it all again. I did love it, but like if there was just a down res and it was 540p and 720p and I was just losing a little bit of pixelation, I'd be okay with that. Like
And-
I would love to play it on the go.
And if they took the DLC and they incorporated it into the game, so you don't
That'd
have
be
to
cool.
play it separately,
that would be
that would sell
Yeah.
me for sure.
that would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Like a definitive edition. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I just don't. Right now, Final Fantasy 15 seems like the weirdest thing that Square Enix is trying to keep alive with, like that multiplayer DLC. That's almost a
And
totally
that-
different game.
That's another campaign in itself. They said it takes
Yeah.
place in between the 10 years that Noctis is in that cave or
Oh,
whatever.
nice.
Oh,
Okay,
interesting.
that's really
Yeah.
cool. But it's what are you gonna do though now? Like,
I'm okay with Final Fantasy 15 being kind of a live thing because I found the characters in the world, the setting, the music. I found everything really compelling. Obviously, there's a lot of shortcomings with the end of the game.
Yeah.
But I think because of those shortcomings, there's almost like reason for them to continue to flesh it out. It sounds like a cop-out, but if it works, it works.
Well, people are still interested in that world, though. So I feel like even though they're not making a direct sequel, like there's still an interest in it.
That would be a weird trip, a direct sequel. Because
yeah.
the ending is fairly ambiguous, too.
I don't want them to do any more direct sequels. I would rather have a DLC.
I would rather have just Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest.
I would, if they do want to tie anything up or, wrap a bow on it, give us a DLC, but don't make us do Final Fantasy 15 2 or any of that stuff.
All I want to know is what happened to Noctis in that 10
But
years. That's
Took an
Oh,
epic nap.
you mean that cave part?
the cave
I
part.
don't-
I just want to know where he is.
I'll tell you after the break.
I'll tell you after Nice.
If you're tired of sifting through flea markets for rare and unique games, we can help. Retro City Games in Henderson, Nevada, only 5 minutes from the Las Vegas Strip, has all your favorite gaming staples, classics, and a wide selection of rare games with new stuff always appearing on our shelves. Come in and chat with Nicole or Doug about your love of games and watch as they help you complete your collection or find your childhood favorite. And don't forget, Retro City Games loves trade-ins. So if you have any Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, Xbox, PlayStation, or even PC games, come in and visit Retro City Games today. Welcome to the new metropolis of gaming, Retro City Games.
Okie doke. Now we're back, and something I brought up last week, but I actually want to talk about again because some new stuff changed. We were talking about VR and what I think is the decline in interest. We mentioned last week that the Oculus Rift was dropped from $800 for the headset plus the touch controllers to $400 now. And recently, between last week and this week, Steam's VR, Vive VR, whatever, dropped to $600, where it was $800. This isn't our main topic or anything, but I just want to bring that up because we've all had like really big opinions on VR, and I was just curious what you guys think. I wonder if this is actually like the decline of it or just reboots whenever the next headsets come out.
I think it's not the market that they were hoping for. I feel like that people thought that the idea was cool at the time, but once they got their hands on, they got to play it. I don't think that people would rather sit on their couches with a controller and not have to worry about all that stuff.
See, I think the people that thought it was cool were like executives, like people that think new technology always sells, and then people behind technology, because it's like the same thing in any industry. Like the people that make stuff, they like to push things forward. But like if you were to ask 90, like I don't know, like a large percentage of gamers, like before VR was a thing, like, hey, what do you want to see in games? Oh, I want more games, or I want another sequel of this, or I want a system that's this powerful. But I doubt anyone would have said, man, I really wish virtual reality was a thing.
Well, to me, it's like, those TVs that they sell with like it's the
Curved.
UHD, the curved.
It's so
like,
dumb.
The novelty of it is cool. Like you see it at the store, you're like, oh, this is rad. I wish I had one. And then you'd probably take it home and you'd be like, this sucks. I wish I could stop having to turn my head every time I want to see something.
Yeah, or what if you have more than 2 people over? You can't watch curved TVs with tons of people,
Yeah.
I know it's not crazy curved, but it is curved substantially enough. So, I don't know, I just want to see what you guys thought
Same
about.
with 3D TV, remember that?
Yeah.
That they were like really banking on that for a while.
Yeah.
And that thankfully disappeared pretty quick. But
Now if we
But I
just
think-
get 3D movies out of theaters.
Yeah. You're telling me I hate that.
Speaking of movies though, this is something we haven't talked about for a long time. Did you guys read about MoviePass?
Yeah.
And I heard AMC's trying to dodge it.
Yeah, they're trying to stop it. They're trying to block it. We don't have our lawyer here today, but they're trying to like legally block it, even though you guys know what it is, right?
Yeah, it's a it's like $10 a month, right?
Yeah, but it's not sold by the movie theaters. Like it's sold by a company named MoviePass. They give you a debit card. They pay for the rest of the tickets.
Oh, okay.
So it's hard for AMC to stop them because it's really just a debit card that you're using.
Let me ask you guys this. So they're saying like box office ratings are going down, like they're decreasing drastically, and I feel like it's not because people are not interested in movies anymore. I feel like it's because people don't want to go and spend a movie ticket now is $15.
Yeah,
It's crazy
it's
expensive.
getting insane.
So why, it's almost for $5 more, you could wait until it comes out on like digital or Blu-ray or something. You could just own it forever.
Yeah, I can't understand why they decided to do that, but
The theater experience is still the theater experience.
This is true.
I love going to the movies. I mean, I prefer to watch movies at the movie theater. I never watch movies at home.
Yeah.
I understand that, but I just think $15 makes it hard for a lot of people.
But I see like 3 movies a year, so.
Yeah, and if you don't have a family, if you're not taking like an entire family to go see the movie, that's it's not like Chris Nolan was saying that he hates the Netflix design because it takes the fun out of the movie theater experience. But if you're taking like 3 or 4 kids with you, that's an expensive night.
Yeah, for sure. It's like $50 to $100. We have to actually make this episode a little bit short today, so I actually want to get to the topic of our week because it's kind of could take a while. And before I want to get to what our opinions are, we actually had some people who responded on Instagrams at SuperBS Gamescast, and I want us to take some time reading those. Lady Madonna, could you read?
Yeah, 27 Rabbits. You wrote Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which is wrong. Final Fantasy 13, which is also wrong. And Final Fantasy 6, which is right.
No, 27 Rabbits.
What was
I'm just kidding. This is see, that's the funny thing about favorites. It's just opinions.
what's
so.
he responding to?
This is
He's
what's
responding
your favorite
to
RPG?
what's your favorite
Okay.
Josh.
What's my okay? Well, clearly
So-
Final Fantasy 12 is your favorite, Josh.
Yeah.
Your favorite
Um,
Josh. No, wait.
No, these are good choices. I think Final Fantasy 13 gets a bad rap for no reason. Now, if he wrote Final Fantasy 13 2, my wrong would be it's a fact. It is bad.
You'd have some
Yeah.
problems with that.
You would
You,
have
you can say Final Fantasy 13. You could say Lightning Returns, but Final Fantasy 13 2 is
That's it.
garbage. Yeah.
That's it.
Jank, do you want to read our next person who?
Oh, yeah. Do I need to bust mine out here?
Yeah,
Okay, let's see. I don't want
it's pretty cool.
to. All right, hold up. Getting there. I don't want to cause like.
I'm just gonna read it first.
Please do.
Super Mario RPG from
Wait.
Nostalgia Plays.
Yeah. Okay. Go.
Also wrong.
Oh no,
just
that's
kidding. No, that's a fantastic game.
yeah. What he gave a reason though, right? I think.
Yeah. It went beyond Mario characters, great humor, and those button timings added some needed flavor to the classic JRPG format. Yeah, Super Mario RPG is a hilarious game, super fun. I love how quirky Mario games can be. It makes me think of like some of the newer Mario RPGs, which can be hit or miss with certain aspects, but they're always funny. Like even we've talked about Dream Team on here before,
Yeah.
which is an insanely long game, and you spend 40 hours of the game just going through tutorials, but the writing is hilarious.
Yeah. Well, I love that game. I even responded back to a Nostalgia Plays. That's the first RPG. Not the first RPG I beat, but I got almost to the end, and that's really the first one I remember playing. But I want to thank Nostalgia Plays and 27 Rabbits. Nostalgia Plays, you rule. You've actually commented twice. We have one more comment.
Do we?
Yeah.
I thought that was from us.
No. This one is from Mark Batstone, someone we do not know at all.
I've never met him or lived with him.
I don't know who
He's
he is.
never been my roommate before.
And we've never lived with him as a group. He wrote Ocarina of Time or Majora's. I assume Majora's Mask. They just fun is what he wrote. And I agree. They is just fun.
Classic Mark. I mean, I don't know Mark, but it sounds like classic Mark.
If you did know Mark,
If
that'd be
we
that'd be
knew
classic
Mark, it would be a classic moment.
If
of
Mark
him.
was someone that I've known for 10 plus years and spent countless hours with, I'd say that's classic Mark. It's not
Classic.
true again, but
So I'm actually going to give my favorite RPG, and then
Hey,
I'll let you guys talk.
What is your favorite RPG?
I would have to go, and this is cliche, but I just enjoy it so much. I got to go with Chrono Trigger.
Wrong.
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 False. You are wrong.
It is to me. It's probably the perfect RPG. It's really hard because I really do love Undertale, which I mentioned in the games we played, and I think that might be up in my top 10 RPGs played. I don't want to give people too high of expectations, but I love it a lot. So Chrono Trigger though is a game that I have played multiple times. I've actually only beaten it once, so I can't really say I've beaten it lots of times. But I got to the end about 4 times. I've beaten it once, and I just love it. I love all the characters. The music's amazing. The artwork's incredible.
Wrong.
Wrong. It's just, there's just something special. Like, it's a magical game that, even though I love Chrono Cross, it was never able to recapture that same magic, in my opinion.
How many games
Got a
are
million-
in the Chrono series? Is there
Dos.
just two?
Two.
Okay.
Just Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger.
Yeah. Chrono Trigger was a collaboration between Akira Toriyama, Hironobu Sakaguchi, and then
Matsuno, right?
Mitsuno. When
All-Stars.
he got sick, Yu Uematsu stepped in and made a couple tracks for the game, so it has that guy as well. But it's like a dream team, and then
Yeah.
I don't think Sakaguchi has anything to do with Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
I think Matsuno still made the music, and the music for Chrono Cross is incredibile.
That might be the best part of that game. I do love Chrono Cross.
There's
but
a lot about Chrono Cross. The problem with Chrono Cross, the one of its biggest strengths and weaknesses is that there's 100+ characters that you can get.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to become attached and have fleshed out stories to 100+ characters. You can't do it.
So they kind of bit off more than they can chew with that.
No, I think it was a I think it was a conscious choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can't have the same quality with that much quantity.
Yeah, they do have a lot of memorable characters. But yeah, I would say out of that game, I remember a good 10 of those characters really, really, really well. But I just didn't like the battle system, to be honest, for Chrono Cross.
No, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I thought the color system was...
Is it
I don't know.
turn-based or
It's
is it
turn-based,
okay.
but it's a special... It's like colors, and you
And
don't...
Brian's colorblind.
You don't
so-
level up,
that,
right?
That explains it. You
Yeah.
get those glasses now.
I'm colorblind, okay, guys? Josh,
Can't see collars on dogs. It's very frustrating because he never knows where to put the leash.
Josh, what's
Attach
your
it to the
favorite
tail.
RPG and
Um,
why?
So the first RPG I ever played was Final Fantasy VII.
Wrong.
and then that's not my favorite. And
I like how it's
took
wrong.
me-
The first RPG he played.
I had to play. I played maybe 6 or 7 before I finally got into one, and the one that I did get into was Legend of Legaia.
Oh, I never played that game.
And
Was that pretty good?
It is pretty good. So I think that's probably my favorite RPG.
Legend of Legaia.
Legend of Legaia. I know it's
Wrong, but yeah.
it's an old school game, but that was like the first time I got the demo with PlayStation Magazine, and I played it over and over, and finally I convinced my mom to buy me the regular game.
Did you ever play the demo for Legend of Dragoon?
No.
Okay, I played that demo a lot of times. I never actually got into the main game. Donna, did you ever play that game?
No.
I wanted to. I
was wanting to as well.
What was it on PlayStation?
Yeah, it was
One.
PlayStation 1.
PlayStation 1? Okay.
It had like really at the time crazy graphics. It was like, whoa, Sony made a game with graphics this good.
Look at all these pixels, man.
It was the Uncharted of its time.
Of course,
but
if
I
you're
just,
expecting dragoons like Final Fantasy, you will be sorely disappointed.
yeah, they're like half
Oh,
dragon
man.
people, I think, that also ride on dragons. Okay, Donna, you're our RPG man here. What is your favorite RPG and why?
I believe that choosing favorites is a bullshit way to
Wrong.
support capitalism.
False.
Which I do.
That is wrong.
So I think categorizing things into favorites is just a way to force you into spending more money in certain places. So
Well, I love
I
spending
don't believe in
money.
lists.
is this
This goes back to
mygamer.com?
mygamer.butts, his favorite website.
That's actually thegamer.com.
The
and
gamer.
thegamer.butts.
10 reasons why you can't have a favorite RPG.
If you
So I think it's important to distinguish that favorite is different than best.
yeah, for sure. It's all opinion.
So my favorite RPG is Final Fantasy IV because I've been playing it since I was 4. Rented it every weekend from the video store, that and Secret of Mana. And then when I was a little older, I actually bought my rental copy I own physically the rental copy that I played as a child.
Is it from Blockbuster?
Oh, that's
from
cool.
Videotron.
Videotron.
Where is a Videotron in California?
Now or in 1993?
1993.
It was by Stater Brothers, by Chinese fast food.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I miss the old video stores that are now defunct.
Yeah.
Okay, since
but
you are,
so-
tell us why.
Yeah.
Beyond
it's-
that.
I mean, it's highly nostalgia. I think it is. It's the first. Well, I actually think that Final Fantasy II has a pretty deep story for being a regular Nintendo game.
And 2 meaning 4.
No, 2 meaning 2.
Oh, okay.
But I was
you
gonna
actually
say-
mean
Is
two.
that the one that was on the SNES Classic?
SNES
No.
is 4, but it was called 2 back in the day.
Yeah, confusingly so. Why? They skipped the release of 2 and 3 in the U.S.
They were Nintendo.
So when they released 4 in the U.S., they hadn't released a 2 and 3, so they called it 2.
So do we have 2 that we haven't gotten to play?
No, we
No,
got
no,
to
they're
play
all
them.
here now.
Okay.
They
But
came
they
out
on
first. They
PlayStation.
came out. First 2 came out on PlayStation 1 in a package with one called Final Fantasy Origins with 16-bit graphics instead of
okay.
8-bit.
I bought that. I never
And
played
then
it.
then Final Fantasy 2 came out again on Game Boy Advance called Final Fantasy Origins or something like that.
Yeah, it was Origins was 1 and 2.
Yeah. And then so they did that. It's the same when they did Final Fantasy 5 was on PlayStation with Final Fantasy Anthology 5 and 6.
Oh, yeah.
5 hadn't been released in the US. That's why 6 was called 3 when it came out.
Doesn't and 6 or 4 it comes with Chrono Trigger, or is it which one?
Well, so Final Fantasy Chronicles was a PlayStation release that did re-release 4 with Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
Yes, on the PlayStation.
It's so weird
But-
that they didn't do 3 at that time. That
Well-
they waited all the way till the Nintendo DS.
Yes, that is weird. I mean, 3 is the first Final Fantasy to introduce the drop system, as we talked about earlier. But anyway, 4 has a really epic story, has really cool characters, has an amazing soundtrack. And I was always so inspired by it when I was a kid. I loved exploring it. I could never beat it because it was just beyond me. But it was eventually the first RPG I beat. I play it every year, so I obviously hate it.
Hates it. You heard it first.
Clearly.
But I at the same time, I do have a hard time with favorites because, I mean, there's so many RPGs and there's so many different styles of RPGs, Western RPGs and Japanese RPGs. But even with those two broad categories, I mean, like Skyrim is nothing like Baldur's Gate. So it's like,
sure.
Yeah, it's hard to say favorite. The only reason why I even wanted a favorite is because if we just asked like RPGs you like, people might give us a list of like even 27 Rabbits gave us 3 games, and if he would have gone into why he liked 3, that still would have taken a lot of time to just
Guys,
go over.
Just for nostalgia's sake, I gotta ask, what's your favorite Tales game?
the only good one is
Vesperia.
Tales of Destiny. So,
Duh.
Yeah, Tales of Destiny, Tales of Shillia 2, Tales
well,
of...
I want to actually emphasize that Tales of Destiny is actually a pretty good game.
What's Vesperia is the Xbox 360 one though, right?
Oh yeah, that one's kind of cool.
Yeah,
No,
that's pretty
Tales
cool.
of Destiny is the PlayStation one.
Oh
The
yeah,
one
the
that is-
original.
the one that's basically a Star Ocean game.
So
Yeah.
on PlayStation 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Actually,
our
yeah.
favorite one is Tales of Braziria, as everyone knows.
Tales of
Yes.
Bresteria.
Braziria. On the podcast, we've talked about how much we love that.
Actually, I heard in that game the female protagonist, she's not amnesiac, but her boobs are.
Oh.
That makes a lot more
They don't-
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, her mammary glands are gone.
Oh.
Badooch. No, that was fun. Donna, let us know what we're going to be talking about next week. You had a cool idea that I
Yeah.
want us to talk about.
We're going to talk about gaming habits and rituals. So, for example, I play Final Fantasy IV every single year. So that's like a thing, a tradition I do. But your habit could be that before you play Call of Duty, you have to scratch your balls for 5 minutes. I mean,
I do that
you know.
all the time. And then I play Call of Duty, which is a bad gaming habit, it's called.
Yeah.
Are there shorts in between your ball scratching, or do you just go straight from there to the controller?
Always just to the controller, man. I keep myself clean, you know what I mean? Very clean boy here. No, that was awesome. It was good to have Donna back, and we will probably bring the Bank Stank back next week to give us those sweet stocks that you guys all love. There's one thing we know about
I gave
gamers.
him 2 today, so I don't know what the big deal is.
Yeah, you give us all the stocks. You're like, here's all the stock news. But yeah, we're going to talk about gaming habits. And if you want to email us at superbscast@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram or Twitter and
Facebook.
And no, that doesn't exist. There's no such
We're
thing
on
as a
Facebook.
Facebook.
We
Okay.
are on Facebook.
Whatever. It's either Super BS Gamescast or Super BS Cast on each one. But our email is superbscast@gmail.com. And we will talk to you all next week. Peace.
Peace.
That's to us people that can feel things. It hurts.